talking in all these biblical terms and shit. But they're very, very nice people, extremely nice people. Almost scary nice. It gave me some Children of the Corn vibes. It kind of scared me a little bit. But they were very, very nice people. Well, so we're driving and, you know, you see these dudes on these carriages, and a couple of them had bikes, these old school bikes with these big ass wheels on it. I mean, old school. I'm like, go ahead with it, Ezekiel. I ain't mad at you. Hello, welcome to thine neighborhood. All right. I'm welcome to be in thine neighborhood. So I'm making friends with the Amish white people. Very cool. Me and my nigga Jacob, me and my nigga Ishmael, all of them. They're my people now. So the Amish, they get busy. So I saw like a little 2-year-old Amish boy, had his big old hat on, 2 years old, out there shucking corn, out there with his little, so they're not supposed to be on that technology thing. Well, this one was. You can, I love the dog.
You want that potato salad?
I want to take the dog.
Not right now.
Okay,
but,
yeah. Because I eat all my plate, so if you get hungry later, I got the rest of my plate.
Yeah, not right now.
Stepping up with this little technology for a minute. Do ye have cash app? But anyway, look, a few things we want to touch on tonight, man. You know, our brother was, another young man was shot, 18-year-old kid was shot in Washington, D.C. He had a gun, and he threw the gun, but they shot him anyway. Let me talk to my young people for a minute. Let me talk to my young people, because I want y'all to understand what's going on. And y'all got to be careful out here, my young black people. I don't watch the P-Valley show. I heard about it. I heard there's a lot of LGBT stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I heard about it.
The P-Valley?
P-Valley.
Oh, yeah, with the kids.
Our brother was
the kids, pornography and shit.
No, that's another show.
Oh. What is P-Valley? A girl strap on?
Stripping.
Oh.
She liked it? You liked it? Is you pregnant? Don't say hi to everybody. I would have been earlier if it wasn't for Lexi's ass. Look at the dog. That's the dog. The dog's name is Honey. That's the dog right there. That's Honey. We got her from the Amish. Tell them about the Amish.
She's in a country girl. She's a city girl now.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Let me show y'all this. Look at Lulu's doggy kitty, man. Look at that, man. She looks like pregnant, man. That's a damn kibble, man. Oh, God damn. Lulu's heavy as shit right now. What's up, Lulu?
Got 2 dogs.
God damn, she's heavy, man. Man, she done got knocked up at the goddamn kibble. Okay, we gotta do a dog pregnancy test on her. We gotta do the first step test. Yeah, look at that. Say what's up, Lulu.
No, looking like what in the hell?
Man, yeah, honey, yeah. Yeah, it was very, very nice. I told them how nice y'all was people. And the people sold us the dog. We didn't know that they had technology. We supposed to have technology. It's like, oh, no, Dine has technology. Dine has the iPad.
Yeah, it's just a difference.
Yeah.
I was like, remember I was there, like, he said, it's different, but that's not a car.
Right.
Okay. And when you can't do it,
here in the valley out there. We got back in the day.
Damn.
Where we live, it was like 121 degrees. It broke a record. Like the hottest in Southern California. You know, it broke a record out here. It was scorching hot out here.
Oh my God.
I just told him about all the damn Trump signs and those Confederate fucking flag signs we saw too. Confederate flags all over the place. You know? Yeah, they out there walking around barefooted on the gravel. I'm like, God damn, y'all got some strong damn feet, man. Yeah.
So you get they phone up with a little boy stuffing in there.
I told him about the little boy, he was out there sucking his corn or something. His little ass out there in the garden, working his little ass off. He was younger than that. He was little. That little motherfucker was little. He wasn't no 6 or 7. He was about 3 years old, out there bailing some fucking grapes or whatever he was doing. A lot of Germans, yeah, they got that German look to them. You know? Yeah. Shout out to, very humble. Shout out to Angie Soul Food in Cleveland. Again, that shit was wild. And shout out to Papa Do's. We had Papa Do's in Dallas at the airport. Are there a lot of Papa Do's out there in the South? Papa Do's was off of that chain. Papa Do's was fine. Papa Do's was very, very good. Yeah. Good. Your mother said that nurture was good. Yeah? It was very hot. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, we're still having the Foundation of Black American Conference September 19th in Atlanta, the Georgia World Congress Center. Get your tickets at FBAC2020.com. I need a DJ. I need a DJ for the event. If you are a DJ or you know a DJ in Atlanta, don't hit me up if you're in Memphis, if you're in Ohio, if you're in Florida, and if you're in Atlanta, email me info@TariqALeaf.com.
Need a DJ.
I was talking about Washington, D.C. Brother got killed by the race coach. And then he had a gun, and he had a video of him throwing his gun. My young folks, I want y'all to be very clear. Do not be on your social media doing these lives while posting and pointing your guns. Alright? I want my young folks to listen to me. I don't want y'all to be on your live out there posting guns and doing all that other shit, because what happens is if you do your own live, the cops be seeing that because they be monitoring people's social media, and when they see y'all on live flexing your guns, they put an APB out on you and they start hunting you. You understand? They be watching people's lives, man. Let me tell y'all something, family. They sit up and watch all the shit that goes on in Negro land on the internet, man. They watch you 24 hours a day. They watch us and they monitor us. That's how they knew how to get them dudes. That's how they knew how to target them. How do you think they knew how to target that car? They sit up watching Facebook Live. They sit up watching Instagram Live, looking for niggas to be smoking, looking for niggas to be waving guns, and they put an APB out on your ass and they be going to hunt you.
And I mean be in their car that they sell drugs in, on Facebook, on live. The whole, look, the whole neighborhood, who over there?
You better act like it.
Just stupid.
Y'all keep your guns
like some niggas, it's fucked up that they went, but some niggas, you know what? Don't look like they had a head on they damn shoulders.
They have whole departments that sit up and monitor social media, guys. Family, I want y'all to be careful and safe in this race war. When you get caught out there by the race soldier, first of all, don't be on social media, you're doing all the dumb shit. Secondly, when they catch up with you, understand you're behind enemy lines. Name, ID number, that's it. Don't give no more information. Don't be all fussing and yelling and talking. They want you to be emotional. They want you to be emotional so that they can ambush you. These folks are going out of their way to ambush you. You understand? So you got to be very clear. And you got to be very safe out here. Yeah? Also, guys, today's topic, we're talking about the sucker punch men. Because these white supremacists, they love ambushing black people. Their MO is doing little things to ambush us. Catching us and shooting us 7 times in the back, and white supremacist society go along with it. They go right along with that. Every time a black person is shot in the back, which happens almost every other day, they find some way to justify it. Up in Rochester, New York, they cover the black man's head up, put a spit guard on him, and choke him to death. They find ways to justify the most cowardly things. But when they catch a fair one with a black person, and a black person gives them their work, all of a sudden, I got sucker punched, dude. That's why today's broadcast is called the Sucker Punch Myth. Understand this. Any fair fight between a black person and a suspected white supremacist is always a sucker punch fight. It's always considered unfair because of their inherently weak status as white supremacists. White supremacists are weak and they know they're weak. They cannot catch a fair one anywhere. Everything is a sucker punch to them when it's equal. When it's even, Stephen, this is why there is a system of white supremacy. They need white supremacy because they cannot compete on an equal level. You understand? Without the police backing them up and without an army backing them up, they're very weak and they know how weak they are. They don't believe in unfair fights. Don't let them talk shit about, well, you sucker punch somebody. No. Don't ever let them shame you about defending yourself from a damn white supremacist and they try to talk about a fair fight. They're the most unfair people, period. They're the last people to try to stand in. Now, I posted a couple of videos on my Twitter. One, Trump at a Trump rally.
Who started over in high school,
tried to push up on a brother. A brother gave him some quick work. So let's look at this real quickly here. Right, Trump supporter.
You ain't supposed to be paying attention.
Right, shout out to the Savoy Show, by the way.
You supposed to be looking at the read.
Oh, and there it is. This is real work. Quick work. Quick work. Simple work. Yeah? Simple work. So, they always act like they got sucker punch. Okay? They always act like, okay, they got jumped. Nobody got jumped, as you see. They try to pretend that that man got jumped. Nobody jumped.
Damn, they ain't Mortal Kombat that way, man. Finish it. Flawless victory.
They always want to cry foul when they run up trying to go toe-to-toe with a brother, and they lose. Easy work.
Flawless victory.
Every time they try to go toe-to-toe, they lose. Now let me play another one. This is the one that got the white supremacist real mad. Now this is the one that got him real mad. Some kind of altercation happened between a suspected white supremacist and a brother. The suspected white supremacist may have said something to the brother. It looked like he said something to him, and the brother just gave him a one-hitter quitter. And they got really mad at this. Now look at this. Hold on. Real quick. they are mad at this one right here.
Yeah, that motherfucker so fast.
White supremacists are in there. States were showing this. Now the authorities will make an arrest. Looked like the animal throwing a sucker punch. All that sucker punch talk. Oh, he's going to get charges pressed on him. Oh, the sucker punch. Oh, you blacks are cowardly. This is a hate crime. Oh, they're crying foul. Oh, he was an old man. Why did he beat the old man of Scott? So now they have to pretend that it was an extra unfair fight. No. It was two grown-ass men standing toe-to-toe. One lost. Now don't sit up and talk about he's an old man. That white man is probably 38 years old.
Look old.
Now we don't know what happened before the video, and it looked like the brother was engaging in self-defense. But they are big mad in the comments section. They're very, very mad. Talking about we're going to press charges. We saw his face. Oh, they need to call the authorities. You need a military to go against one brother. You can't go toe-to-toe. You need a military. It has to be an unfair fight.
Yeah, they gotta have the guns and shit like that when they show up.
Yeah.
If it's a fair fight, it's unfair for the white supremacists.
Yeah, it's from a mud hole, man.
So they create this
that white man can't be no white man.
These are the same people going around ambushing folks and justifying.
Man, when they come get Grizz bait, half of Winston-Salem PD used to come. You be like, damn. What army they finna turn?
They try to project their power.
That's what I'm gonna take.
Nigga, they ain't take all that. Man, he could have brought it. And then end up getting his mama. Oh, you should have came with that the first time, nigga. Because you still couldn't get him out.
24 hours a day. Talking shit about black people.
That nigga mama outside grilling. Just go ahead and give yourself up. We'll be out here when you get.
We are amazing.
I thought Kobe was the one that could shoot.
Kobe can, but not.
We are amazing.
So now we got Shaq.
We're amazing. We got white supremacy.
Kobe. What's that? That's the dribble god, right?
AI is the dribble god.
Okay. And then we got AI. And so now we got
Green Bean. Shaq, Kobe,
everything about
AI,
culture is
Green
how
Bean.
They can subjugate.
Is it? That is it.
Everything.
That is it.
It takes a military for them to go against a handful of folks. Look all around the country.
Don't make it, baby.
Thousands and thousands of militarized
Just in case.
Too much effort and one that needs to be spending time on building on the up.
Well, I'm gonna grind with Shaq. And I'm gonna play with these niggas.
All of that military is for the young black men.
I got it, baby. I'm finna go to the wreck now with Shaq. Give me that.
Don't have to have a military subjugate them. The white supremacists are the ones who need the military. You can't catch a fair one. You need a system of non-justice in order to make you competitive. You need that because our existence is warfare to them. They look at our existence, especially the black male, like Francis Welton said, our genetics can wipe them out. Just the simple act of lovemaking can wipe them out. That's power. You don't even have to engage in aggressive warfare. That's power. That's why they look at our existence. You dig? Our existence is warfare. I want black folks to understand that. I really want black folks to understand that concept. Because everything is in a constant state of warfare against us. It's never not warfare. Everything they do is an act of warfare. Now, I'm driving to Ohio, looking at all of these Trump flags, these Confederate flags, and all of these rednecks out here, and looking at their lives, we can see the insecurity in their disposition. The only secure people were the Amish people because they ain't even tripping on the road. But you can feel the insecurity in the people. Then you can feel it. I saw another video, guys, of a white man. He was arguing with the black kids for having their music up, and he started.
The gym open up Tuesday.
Yeah. This is why nobody respects you guys. It went from loud music to all of a sudden all black people
they say
are.
The film gonna be like $23.
You start talking about, hey, listen, guys.
That's a little cheaper.
You guys, people don't respect you. You're disrespecting by playing your music. See, this is why the Vietnamese can come over, they can be successful, and you guys are just out here struggling. That's a common quip from the white supremacists. And I want y'all to understand that con game that they try to run on us. Everything about them is all about trying to attack our self-esteem with lies. This is why you need to know history. When they start pointing to another immigrant group talking about how successful that model immigrant group is, that's a con game. And they know it. When they try to pull that model minority myth, that's a major con game. And then some of these fake-ass minorities, they'll try to go for they'll try to spew that same shit themselves. You got to get them straight. But he was talking about the Vietnamese. Let me tell you something. These white supremacists understand that they allow other groups over, and they don't hinder those groups. Other groups, when they are allowed to come over, they are prioritized and elevated by the white supremacists, and their businesses are never thwarted. I want black people to understand this. Don't fall for the bootstrap concept. Black people, foundational black Americans, we are the only group of people, and I've said this a million times, I'm going to say it again. We are the only group of people whose businesses and our successes are repeatedly sabotaged. They don't sabotage Asians. They do not sabotage Hispanics. They don't sabotage East Indians. You don't see
they sabotage Mexicans though.
Getting burned down. You don't
by locking them up, no insurance.
Most of them ain't got no insurance.
You don't see none of that stuff. Shout out to everybody hitting the Cash App. The Cash App is KingFlex818. For those hitting the Cash App, shout out to you guys.
Hit my damn Cash App.
You don't see them building freeways.
Get your Cash App, Mimi.
Chinatowns like that. They go out of their way to make sure other businesses thrive. They protect the buffer class. They protect that buffer class. We, black people, family, we have to start over and over again. We get burned down, then we got to start over. We get ransacked, we got to start over. They bomb our businesses, we got to start over. Black businesses, family, they build freeways, subways, railroads through our communities to destroy our businesses, and then we got to move somewhere and start over. We have to do that over and over and over again. That happens to no other group. No other group that sabotage more than us. This is how powerful we are, and we can still regroup.
Yeah, cause Mr. Garland.
Let me tell you something.
Fucking club right behind the fucking highway.
It's done. You sabotage another group, they're done. Just look at some of their countries. Look at some of their countries. You look at some of their countries and they get sabotaged. They got sabotaged 100 years ago. They never recouped. They never regrouped. They never got back on their feet in their own countries. If you leave foundational black Americans alone somewhere, dude, we're going to figure out a way to thrive. Foundational black Americans, man, we are so fucking unique and so exceptional, man. Our brother James Small talks about this. John Henry Clark talks about this. Our brother Claude Anderson talks about how exceptional foundational black Americans are. Not to shit on none of our other brothers and sisters. None of our, we're not shitting on you, but nobody has gotten busy like we've gotten busy and built things like we have over here repeatedly. That's why they're always trying to subjugate us, man. There's a reason why. You don't subjugate people that you feel are inferior. You don't. There's something that's threatening you about this group of people. They know if you give us an inch, we're going to flip it and make a mile out of it.
Flip it.
After black folks got out of slavery, no people started thriving like we did outside of subjugation where you were forced to be illiterate. They forced ignorance on us. During Reconstruction, black folks cut their illiteracy rate over 50%. Black folks started speaking Latin, the King's English, all types of different languages, reading, writing. We started thriving. They said, oh, hell no. Oh, no, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's sabotage the Freedmen's Bureau. Let's sabotage the Freedmen's Bank. Let's take their money. Black folks stacked up a whole bunch of money. They took our money out the Freedmen's Bank. They started getting all of these white immigrants and dumping them on top of us. They said, oh, shit. Give us your poor. Give us your hungry. Give us your weak. Europe. Bring some more. We need more white people over. These niggas are doing something more. A forced ignorance, guys. It was illegal for us to read, and we were still thriving. It was illegal for us to read, and we were still sneaking books, learning to read, and building from that. Then, man, we had geniuses. Lewis Latimer, Horace Brown, James T. Woods. These are black inventors who were geniuses coming out of slavery. Geniuses. No other group has done that. You've been subjugated and you still got geniuses coming out of your fucking group? Nobody does that. So when black folks had all these skills, and we started getting into the job market, they were like, oh, these things are going to take over. We're going to have to bring white folks in to start these damn unions. These unions were always started by white supremacists. The purpose of the union was to keep black people out. That was the purpose of the union. And that's why they were lynching so many black people, by the way, guys. They were lynching black people because they were afraid of the economic stability black people would get. But understand, places like Tulsa, and I've talked about this before, when black folks were left to their own devices, they just kind of let black people do what they do, and we didn't pay attention to them. All of a sudden, they started building up these wealthy communities. Out here, Central Avenue in LA, they call that the Harlem of the West. Central Avenue was a thriving black community. They destroyed it by building the 110 freeway up there. Down in Miami, it was Harlem of the South. The black community over there was a thriving black area. Was it Overtown? It was a thriving black area over there with a gang of prosperous black businesses. They started building freeways and train stations over there. Fuck that up down there in Miami. Then, was Liberty City? I get Liberty City and Overtown mixed up. It was one of those places over there. It was either Overtown or Liberty City that had a thriving black community initially. Then they sabotaged. Miami people know what I'm talking about. In Detroit, Hastings, over there, Hastings Street, that was a prosperous black area. They killed that one, put a freeway over there. Detroit. So we're sabotaged over and over again. No other group is sabotaged. Don't let no other group compare themselves to you. Do not let any other group compare themselves to you. There's no other comparison. And what's funny, a lot of these wannabe Anglos, Latinos, they try desperately to make their struggle comparative to what we got going on. They try to compare themselves to us talking about what they're entitled to. We got to really get them straight. Now, there's some cool Hispanics out there that we good, but within your community, you got the clean, wannabe Anglo-white sector that you're going to have to understand your own history.
How that ain't no foul?
Because I've had different debates with the wannabe white Anglos, because Mexicans and some of these Hispanics are already considered white, but they're not Anglo. See, they aspire to be Anglo. See, they're like reserved white. Yeah? So they get to talking about it. Anytime a black person gets any kind of benefit, they start talking about, well, what about Latinos? What about us? As if they are entitled to what we get or to what we built. That's something that we're going to have to really get straight. And y'all going to have to start shutting that bullshit down. Where people are talking about what they're entitled to. See, this is why y'all better cut that black and Latino and black and brown bullshit out. Because people use that to hustle. Now, there's this white woman named Jessica Krug. Now, Jessica Krug, hold on. This was from what I understand, a Jewish woman, Jewish white woman, who pretended to be a black Latina. She pretended to be a black Latina, and I guess she was teaching somewhere. Hold on one second. Let me find the video of her. Okay, this is where's Jessica Krug? Okay, hold on. Jessica damn Krug. Okay, so this is Jessica Krug. What happened was this white woman. Where am I? Okay, I'm on the wrong page. Hold on. Y'all bear with me. I'm on the wrong page. Hold on 1 second. Let me find my page. Let me find Jessica Krug. Hold on. So this is like Rachel Dolezal 2.0. Okay? So this is her, this is Jessica Krug, this is the white woman, actually she's Jewish, but I guess she darkened her face up and curled her hair up, and she actually wrote for Essence, and she was a professor, so she admitted she lied about black, talking about she's canceling herself. What happened is they were about to out her. They were about to out her anyway, and she started copping fleas. She kind of outed herself before she got embarrassed. So, she's the new, they're calling her Ida B. White, Becky Shabazz. I call her Mayonnaise C.J. Walker. Yeah. Rosa Farce. It is. So this is her, listen to her talking. Now listen to her talking. Alright? Now listen to her talk. Using this jive ass accent. Listen to her talk. Hold on. Where is it? Where's that clip? Come on, man. Where's that clip of her? Where's that clip? I had a clip of her. Where is that? I had a clip of her talking. Oh, I had a clip of her. I had it. Where is that clip? Okay. I can't find the damn clip. I had a clip of this woman talking. Hold on. Listen to this accent this woman now. Listen to this. Listen. Hold on. Now listen to this.
Uncle sold my fucking neighborhood to developers and gentrifiers. So I got a couple of things to say, and when y'all come on and tell me my time stops, fuck out of here. It's been 7 hours. Not only did I have to listen to these cops, and not just the cops, but to be honest with y'all, city council members, you posing like you opposing them for your sound bites, for your social media, for your re-election campaign. Fuck out of here. You've been supporting the cops in the pandemic. When the MTA was strapped and you supported putting more cops on the MTA, fuck out of here. We know where you're coming from, and we know what these little photo opportunity bullshits are. I also want to call out all these white New Yorkers who waited 4 hours with us to be able to speak and that did not yield their time to black and brown indigenous New Yorkers who thought that their sense of, I thought cops was here to protect us, but I guess they're not. Boy, you think that this sort of like shock and empathy thing is the move. Okay, so a couple of things. You was talking about
Okay. God. But they didn't catch on to that whack fucking 70s accent. You sound like ETX. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Child turkey. You don't understand. Fuck out of here. These fuckers gonna learn today. What kind of damn accent was that? Y'all didn't catch on to that movie? That was horrible. Man. If she sounds Italian, my God. Y'all, whoever was around her, that shea butter crowd had her ass around. So these folks, man, they're mediocre in white society. And they understand they can get around us and get all types of little tangents by being the Negro whisperer. How is it that these Rachel Dolezals and women like this, all these people keep getting high up in the ranks around black studies and black publications? How are these niggas getting all up in the ranks like that? I submit to you that the white people who are bringing these folks around know that they are white. I think the white people who are bringing them around know that these folks are white. Yeah? And they're like, yeah, we'll put you on up in there. We'll put you on in there. Fuck out of here. What the hell is that? And what happens, we tell you something. What they do, they put all of these mammies and these bedwenches and these foreign non-FDA mammies all up in these publications, so the Essence and the Root and all that is a bunch of non-FDA mammies. So they see this woman, fuck out of here. So they're like, oh, she's hella light, she's kind of white, but she's black. Oh, that's our queen. That's our queen right there. We'll make her our queen. You understand? So this is how dangerous some of these folks are. These people are very, very dangerous. Yeah? And we got to understand this. A lot of these non-FDA people, these managers, they trivialize the stuff that goes on to us. A lot of our deaths, to them, it's like, okay, this is an opportunity for a call. There's a video I put up where this non-FDA chick, she's from West Africa somewhere. And I went to her social media, and she's all booed up with different white folks. But she's up here at a Black Lives Matter mural, and I think this is in Brooklyn. So she took it upon herself to do the wet ass pussy challenge at the Black Lives Matter mural. So this is her. Alright, that's her. That's what they think. Okay. Alright. That's her. Okay. Okay. And you see all her white friends there, when you see the white hands with the phone, when white people around, now it's show out time. When the white people come around, let's use this opportunity to talk about injustice that's happening to Foundation of Black Americans. Let me get some attention. Let me show my dance moves. And I find that very disrespectful, because if a black American went over to her parents' homeland doing that type of shit, doing the wet ass pussy challenge at the grave site of Patrice Lumumba, you know, or doing the wet ass pussy challenge at the home of Nelson Mandela or somebody like that, they wouldn't allow that. They wouldn't like it, and we don't like it. And if you notice, there's been a lot of these non-FBA mammies really campaigning, doing stuff like this, campaigning for white mommy and white dad. Hold on one second. Making these little videos like this. Been a lot of them. Listen.
Here we go again. People are not going to want to hear it, but it has to be told. The truth has to be told. I have experienced more prejudice from black Americans than I have racism from Caucasians. In the 7 years of living in the States, I have had terrible experiences with black Americans showing prejudice. Even my own son being shown prejudice at the park when he tried to play with some kid he saw. The mother literally yelled at my son, and he was only about 3. I was standing right next to him, but she yelled at him. I was like, really? So yes, you know what? I'm wondering my rights to the way I feel. There you go. Like I said, I've experienced more prejudice from African Americans than I have racism from white Americans. Boom. Here we go.
Okay. Now let's be clear. What she said was a damn lie. Nobody's being prejudiced against her. That's a lie. And nobody yelled at her kid. I don't even believe that. I don't believe this. Nobody yelled at her kid. This is the person these niggas are trying to audition for the white supremacists. They know by making videos talking shit about Foundation of Black Americans, that's going to get them some Joe off. Yeah, that's a con game that they're doing. That's a game they're playing. That's a con game that they're engaging in. And this is on TikTok. I mean, it's like thousands of videos of these niggas doing that type of shit. There's thousands of them just doing that. You dig? So that's a little con game they got now, where they sit up and say that black people are doing something to them, which we're not. We're not even thinking about them. We got bigger fish to fry than to be discriminatory, which we don't have the power to discriminate against your ass. And actually, it's the politicians that we elect that's bringing you over here. So you can't have it both ways. So this is a way for them to disrespect and get butter biscuits from the dominant society. This is all this is. This is all about them getting butter biscuits from the dominant society. And I ask you this, man. Can you show a video of a Foundation of Black Americans going over to any African country, sitting in their country, talking shit about the people? Now look, this is another one. Shout out to First Gun News. This is another one. Hold on. I don't know where she's from. This is a big old man. Hold on.
And I am knackered by it. Do you think that the world revolves around only black people? Nope, it doesn't. Do you think that every other race don't experience racism or discrimination, just black people? No, again. So you're also saying that only black people die in the hands of police officers? Wow, so dumb. His are being molested, raped, abused. There's human sex trafficking going on in the world, and you think that everyone else should put a stop to their lives because he wants to push a political agenda? Newsflash. Black people don't look like that. And if you care so much about black people that you're claiming to grant all the protests of golden coffins for those little black babies 2, 4, 6, 9, 11 years old that were shot by another black person. Nobody wants to talk about that. I'll say hypocritical and nonsensical stuff on that page next time.
Okay, so it's a bunch of mammies trying to be Candace Owens. You know, they're trying to get a zaddy. And let me tell you something. You know, that's extra despicable You dig? There's an extra layer of despicability that comes with that. Because black folks, we busted our asses helping these little anchor baby mammies and bed wenches bring their little asses over here. Do you know how much we've sacrificed to bring these little disrespectful asses over here? And I ain't talking about all my brothers and sisters. We got some good brothers and sisters who come through. But them right there, that's a problem. We've sacrificed so much for them to come over. And not only sacrifice, they end up going to HBCUs, they end up getting all these immigration minority programs that we done fought for, just so they can get their ass on here and hop on TikTok and show mad disrespect. I want you to show me one video of a foundational black American going to an African country, sitting up here talking shit about the people like that. You did? Wait, somebody said, what did I do? Nigga, my taxes. The fuck you mean? My tax dollars. Nigga, I work hard and my tax dollars go to the state, goes to the government, and my government tax dollars ends up bringing these mammies over. That's what I do. I work very hard, and they take a lot of taxes from my ass. I work very fucking hard. I use the same work aesthetic that my family gave me. I work very hard to carry the legacy of my family, and I get taxed for my hard work. I don't want my hard fucking work and taxes going to bring over more mammies that's going to undermine me and my people. Yeah, nigga, my tax dollars. I have a say to where my tax dollars go. And guess what? I don't want it going to Jollof mammies and oxtail coons. I don't want my tax dollars going there. And I pay a gang of money in taxes. So I'm going to have a little say-so about it. I'm not busting my ass out here working as hard as I do, getting up every morning, running businesses, so that Nduge, little bedwenching ass, can come over here and eat up all our shit and then turn around talking about how hard she done work and niggas are lazy. Fuck out of here. As the other fake Rachel Dolezal said, fuck out of here. Yeah, nigga, I got to say about that. We work hard as foundational black Americans, man. We work very hard and our tax dollars are funding these goons. Man, please. Yeah, we got a right to say, hey, you know what, let's cut the goon train off for a minute. Some of that those tax dollars can go to some of the homeless black people out here. Those tax dollars can go to help us get some after-school programs going for our children who's going to be grateful to the shit that we teach them. And then going to turn around with a damn fake afro wig bedwenching. Yeah, that little money can go to some better places than a mammy. Yeah, I'm tired of funding that type of shit. And again, those wannabe white Anglo-Latinos, the other ones, they really got it bad because they got this thing where they feel like they're just entitled to everything we get. We got to check them on that. I've had a couple of these wannabe white supremacist Latinos telling me, well, I'm an American just like you. No, you come from an immigrant class, and I'm not an immigrant. No, we're different. That's my land, too. How is this your land, Hector? How is this your land? Well, parts of California and parts of the U.S. was owned by the Spanish. Well, nigga, you ain't Spanish. Hispanic and Spanish are kind of two different things. So this is what you need to understand history, okay? Yeah, nigga, parts of California was owned by the Spanish Empire, but it wasn't your shit. It wasn't the mestizos. You weren't up here really running nothing, Hector. Let's be clear, we gotta learn history and get them straight on their shit. Because truth be told, up in the California area, you had black-skinned natives like the Ohlone Indians, the Mojave Indians. Many of them, they weren't mixed with the Spanish, so they were not Latino. We need to understand history. Well, no, bro, no, I'm indigenous to the land, bro. Nigga, the people indigenous to the land here and in what we now call Mexico were black people too. Do I need to bring receipts? See, you gotta have your receipts. I shut them up real quick. They don't fuck with me. You start putting them receipts on their ass. Hold on, Javier. First of all, brother, the indigenous people of Mexico, we can go to Mexico. You look at the Bonampak people who were black-skinned with dreadlocks. You go down into central Mexico, you see the Olmec people and their big-ass statues of them big fucking black faces. So we're going to talk about who some of the original people of that land was. These were people who would be classified as black today. So let's be clear. Now you better get them straight with their history. Well, if Latinos helped build this nation, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because Latino culture, the essence of it is the Africanness of it. You know, let's be clear. Let's start breaking their history down, because see, let me tell you something. In Mexican culture in particular, they go out of their way to erase the black history of their culture. They go out of their way to erase it. But down there in Mexico, remember, Mexico was an African colony. It was African slavery there just by the Spanish. Okay? Mexico was an African colony. When you look at Mexican culture, family, I'm teaching slow tonight. So next time you get one of these little old Mexican Nazis who try to talk that dumb shit, hit him with his history. He knows deep down, he knows he got a Negro abuela somewhere, but no, you got to hit them hard with it to really remind them, because they went out of their way to erase their history. When you look at Mexican history, all of that shit was African. The food, the culture, family, look at some of those words. Start writing some of this stuff down. Let's take our time. I told y'all about the food, menudo, even the black beans and rice. All of that shit is African. Google that. Black beans and rice that go with everything in their food, all that shit is African, guys. Even little fiestas like Fandango, that's something that was common down there. The Fandango, that was like a festival fiesta type of thing. That was an African tradition culture that came out of the Mandingo culture. Google all this shit that I'm telling you. Forget about the dances, the mariachi music, African. Like I said, menudo, all that food, African. The gato dance, I think that's the cat dance, African. Down there in Argentina, the tango, African. Google that. The bamba, y'all remember they did that song, that popular song, La Bamba? What's La Bamba? That's a dance. That's an African dance. La Bamba was an African dance. Santeria. All of this shit, all those dance moves, all that shit is African. All of it. You there? Cinco de Mayo, that was the black maroons up there fighting the French. See, they try to erase their little old history. Mofongo, African food. Marimba. Look at those, listen to the connotation of those names. All stop. These are African connotations. Comcast on Fandango. See, that's what Fandango is, some African shit, guys. Yeah? So yeah. All that rice and beans, that's all African shit, dude. That's all African stuff. And they know that. And The person who stopped slavery down there, Vicente Guerrero, was a black dude. All them drums and all that stuff. Merengue. Yeah? So understand that. So they're getting hit with the Africanness on both sides. When they get to New Spain, they're infused with a lot of the African culture in New Spain, and even in Old Spain, they're infused with the Moorish culture. So you're getting Africanized influences on both sides. They can't run from the Africanness if they wanted to. Spanish culture is African. Remember, Spain was the Iberian Peninsula. All of the culture of the Iberian Peninsula got lost. All of the early Iberian Peninsula culture was lost. Everything in Spain now, all that culture came from Moors, man. All of that shit came from the Moors. I've been to these places. I'm telling you what I've seen. I've been all over Mexico. I've been all over Spain. Yeah? Yes, Fandango is African. Y'all look up what I'm saying. Y'all hear these words, oh, that's Mexican shit. No. Dig deeper. Fandango, that's African stuff. You don't ever let them fix their mouth to say anything disrespectful about a foundational black American at all. Yeah? Man. Oh yes, the 1619 project, very interesting. You know what Trump was talking about, he was doing two things. He said they were talking about teaching the 1619 project in California at some schools or whatever, and Trump was talking about he's going to defund some federal institutions if they teach the 1619 project. They're getting into some Nazi shit where they want to start erasing history, and also Trump is going to defund these institutions that teach critical race theory, meaning criticizing white supremacy. If you criticize white supremacy, Trump is talking about defunding these institutions. So he's really playing and pandering to the white supremacist crowd. See, when you talk about race, it's always supposed to be about how fucked up black people are. But when you criticize white supremacy, whoa, no, that's reverse racism. Yeah? This is why hidden colors is important. This is why the hidden color stuff is very important. We need to know our history. That's why we cannot depend on the state. This is why I did those theories. This is the main reason why, because when we start getting too woke, then they're going to start making a concerted effort to try to defund our history. This is why we have to fund our history. Because they know our history is a threat. Family, here's the reason why the streets are popping right now, because enough of us are woke. For the last decade, we've been pushing a woke agenda. We've been pushing a woke agenda. There's a reason we're out here in these streets right now, because we have a sense of self. We have a sense of self. They've been trying to dumbify us and magnify us, and enough of us are not going for that. Enough of us are not going for that. So they understand that it's important to target children young. This is why I got to get this buck-breaking movie. Family, there's so much going on with this buck-breaking movie. It's so hard for us to get this thing rolling, because, family, I honestly don't even know where to start with this movie. I don't even know which direction should we go in. There's so many things going on with this buck-breaking thing. Every time we go in one direction with it, something else pop up, then we need to go in another direction. Then something pop up, we need to go in another direction. So much is going on pertaining to buck-breaking. Now, I think it can become like a Netflix series. Family with buck-breaking. That's why I've been trying to figure out how to break this stuff down because it's so bad. Do it like hidden colors. Well, it takes a minute to do hidden colors. With this, it almost has to be like a series, man. Well, it has to be like at least 5 or 6 hours, man. You know, with Hidden Colors, listen, with Hidden Colors, usually those are like 3 or 4 hours and we cut it